Joseph Puckett, which most everyone that jumps on here, I'm sure, is going to be familiar with this young man. Founder of Joseph Puckett Consulting. He's been around the insurance industry for a long time. He's helped a lot of people. He's a very experienced industry coach and trainer of high-performing teams. So the whole basis of kind of what we're setting out to do and what we started with this is Crosshairs Marketing is who we are. My name is Ben Witter. I'm one of the partners of Crosshairs. Lucas Slankard, another Allstate agent, is my partner in that company. We do direct mail marketing. So it was kind of born out of doing our own marketing, wasn't intended to turn into what it has. But it's just been fun to grow that and help people around the country solve their marketing problems and grow their businesses. And so we've been doing that for, I think we just hit the 3-year mark last month. And yeah, this year we're trying to think kind of outside the box of what are some other things that we can do just to really help agents accelerate growth. So we kind of built out a 12-month calendar with different topics that really are designed of our needs, right? Like, we're agents first, and how do we solve our own problems and help grow? And we know that those things are going to be on the top of agents' minds around the country as well. So we broke it into quarters. And so we've spent this first quarter talking about team, just kind of thinking, you know what, you're never going to build a great agency without a great team. I think it really starts and ends with your team. And so the first conversation we did back in January, we chatted with agency owner Tim Waltrip, talking about culture and just the foundation of building a great team starts with culture. I know one of my takeaways with that was he had shared, you can't have a winning culture without a caring culture, and just really boils down to connecting and caring for your team. And then last month we talked about hiring, and we were chatting with Justin Slocum. He joined us just to talk through the challenges that we all face from a hiring standpoint and some different tactics. And he definitely challenged me with focusing on speed. Like, in today's hiring marketplace, like, you've got to be fast. You know, good candidates are not there long. Gone are the days of making them wait for you. So putting offers out really the same day. And then from there, after we bring people onto the team, the next phase of that was, how do we coach and develop and turn them into great producers to build a great career? And naturally, you were one of the first people that popped into our mind when we're thinking about, man, who could we bring on board that would help talk about coaching and developing a high-performing team? So we reached out, and Joseph was gracious enough to join us. So thank you for your time. We appreciate you. And why don't you just share with everyone here a little bit about your background and your journey, how you got to where you're at today.
Yeah, well, thanks, Ben, Crosshairs Marketing, everybody watching. I'm so grateful to have this chance to talk with y'all. So who am I? If you don't know who I am, I've been in the insurance industry since 2009, started a scratch Allstate agency back in 2009. At the ripe old age of 24, I had no freaking clue what I was doing, had no money. I hired 3 other people that had no freaking clue what they were doing. Started with nothing, ended with basically nothing. I wasn't ready at 24 years old to have a scratch agency. I guess I could fog a mirror and have a license and could prove that I had 50,000. Hell, I borrowed all that. And so they gave me a contract. They shouldn't have. I was not ready. Thankfully, in 2011, I started working with a mega agent. It was about $10 million in premium here in Alabama, where I'm currently located. And started as a producer, man. Started as a producer, writing about 50, 60 items a month. And I was able to then manage his smallest satellite agency. It was about $3 million. Ran that by myself for about 3 months. And then I was like, I need to start hiring and developing people. So I started recruiting. And made my first hire. Her name was Jenna. And Jenna was amazing. And I got to develop her and coach her. So I was doing about 60 items a month. Got Jenna up to 60. We were doing about 100, 120 a month. Added another. I got that $3 million book doing, I don't know, 250, 300 items a month with just 3 producers. And then I got to manage all of our agencies at that time. We were about 12 million. bought 10 in Georgia, grew to 30 organically, then 35, then $40 million over that decade before he sold in an 8-figure deal. Well, because we were killing it, we were having success, people started asking us for help. So for about the past 10 years, I've been coaching, training, consulting agencies all across the country. I've been managing agencies all across the country, currently an agency in Texas, and having a blast working with one team. But I'm grateful that through Joseph Puckett Consulting, I can now help agencies all across the country, via live training. I do live training and role play sessions once or twice a week. They're super fun, super engaging with all the members. The staff love them. I also offer individual consulting and training for agencies that want more hand holding and support. I am in talks to buy an agency. Now, hush, nobody knows that. Well,
Awesome.
shit, I guess people know it now, but I'm in talks to buy an agency, man. I just turned 40 years old. And I figure I've helped, multiple people grow mega agencies and sell them for millions of dollars. It's my turn. It's my turn. So I'm going to get back in the game, but also keep coaching and training and consulting because I have such a passion, man, of helping people and developing staff. And dude, I get emails, I get Facebook messages, Instagram messages from producers all across the country that are in my programs. A lot of them I never even talk to, man. They just watch my live trainings or they view the recordings. They're using my scripts and Top Pass, and they'll Facebook me or Instagram me or send me a message saying, JP, I just closed 3 cars, home, umbrella. We were $80 more a month, took them away from USAA. I just had to tell you, boy. And I'm so excited, dude. That gets my heart pumping, my heart racing. To be able to see team members grow and develop to hit their goals is so rewarding for me. So even when I have my own agency, which hopefully that'll be in the next 3 months, I'm going to keep coaching, training, and developing people. So that's what's up. That's who I am. I've been with
Heck yeah.
Allstate now for 16 years. I bleed blue. I believe this company has a bright future. But as an FYI, I also help other companies. So if you're watching this and you're a farmer's agent or something, what's up? I can help farmers, State Farm, whatever. But I'm just grateful to be in this industry, dude. It's changed my life. Real quick, and I'll pass it back to you. I moved to insurance in 2009 because I was in banking at the time. What was going on in 2008, 2009 in banking? The freaking world was ending, right? So I jumped ship. Right as the economy was crashing and moved to insurance because my friend Rusty and Jimmy, they had an agency in Birmingham, Alabama. I was talking with them. I was like, man, how's business, man? It's crazy. It's crazy, dude. People are turning in the keys to their cars. They were turning in the keys to their home. We were opening up the bank every single day with people saying, take it back. I can't pay for it. Our stock price at the bank I worked for was trading for $1 a share. It was crazy, right? And I was like, man, how's the recession impacting you guys? And Rusty was like, it's not, man. People have to have insurance. Ding, ding, ding. I was like, all right, I need to do that. The thing is,
Yep.
I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready at 24 to do a scratch deal, but that's what's up. That's me. That's what brought me to insurance 16 years ago.
I love it, man. I say this all the time. Insurance is such a great career and a great industry to be in. And I've never met a single person that grew up saying, I want to be an insurance agent. Like you stumble your way into it one way or another, and you realize it's a resilient industry. It is a people industry. It's a relational industry. And man, it's a rewarding industry if you really commit to it and yeah, achieve things that are able to be achieved. So that's awesome, man. Thanks for sharing.
Heck yeah.
Well, let's dive into the coaching and development piece, which yeah, I think we all have so much that we can learn from you. You've been probably one of the best in our industry at doing this for the last 10 years. So just kind of starting high level, what do you think, why is coaching so critical and such a foundational piece to success in this industry and building a high performing team?
Yeah. Well, I think it's so important. Man, people, team members in particular, licensed sales professionals, producers, customer service agents, or hybrids that do both service and sales, they should want to get better, right? They should want to get better, not just come in and punch a clock and all that stuff. What we have to do is invest some time in our people. You can't just outsource it, by the way. I mean, y'all, you don't have to join Joseph Puckett Consulting. I don't know who's watching this, but I do recommend that you have some outside training and support and development, which will help you, which will help others. But y'all, investing time in your team, Time is your most valuable asset. I know that. I know you got a lot going on. You got webinars you got to attend from your company. You have meetings that you have to attend. You're managing your leads in marketing. You're trying to put out fires with customers who are pissed off about rate increases or claim situations or what's going on. You got team members calling in sick and you're thinking, damn, now I got to answer the phone today. I know it. I know y'all got a lot going on. I know because I've been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. But you must invest time in your team. Why is it so important? If you have team members who want to grow, who want to get better, you just investing 20 minutes here, 30 minutes there, maybe listening to a call with them or using my friend Justin Harkleroad's standardcallscoring.com platform that will like use AI to score calls to see if they're leading with coverage and value or not, if they're asking for the sale or not, if they're overcoming objections. Like it's a really great tool. But spending time, or no, investing time in working with your team and coaching and develop them if they want to get better is what's going to take them to the next level. There's a lot of agents out there that don't really spend a lot of time trying to coach or train their team. And they might say, JP, I'm not good at it, man. Like I need somebody to help me because I'm not good. Well, it's like that radio commercial. Maybe they did TV too, like for adoption. It's adoptuskids.com or adoptuskids.com. The tagline is, you do not have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. They just want somebody to love them, right? Y'all, you do not have to be perfect to be a perfect coach for your people. You have experience. You have dealt with customers and prospects and situations. I promise you, you're able to give valuable advice to your team members to make them better so that they can grow and hit their goals. So don't stress about being perfect. Know that it's going to be weird, y'all. It's going to be awkward when you start to listen to calls with your staff. And I bet y'all, you'll be listening to some calls and you'll think, oh my God, I can't believe they said that. You're going to want to crawl under your desk with a big old bottle of wine and just start drinking. But you must listen to calls. You must spend some time coaching your team. You must not be afraid to be perfect right before you get involved. And I promise you, they will see growth. They will see development. They'll realize that it's a huge benefit of being with your agency. See, I leverage our training program as a benefit of working for the agencies that I manage and hopefully soon will own. That is a massive benefit. We're not just going to give you a paycheck and a phone book and a phone and say, hey, figure it out. No, we're going to develop you to write more business, to make more commissions, to help grow the agency. So coaching, developing the team, is crucial, right, for their success. And that's why I always go into it with their success. What is it that they're trying to accomplish? Not just production wise, not just recognition wise. I know they want to make more money. And by the way, y'all, if your staff is not motivated by money and they're selling, you need to replace them. Like you need hungry people who want to make 70, 80, $90,000 a year. No producer working under me is going to make less than 100, right? I'll have people making 120, 150 or more, right? So you need hungry people who need to make good money, who want to make good money, but why? Do they want to pay off their student loan? Do they want to pay off their credit cards? Do they want to buy a new car or rent a nicer apartment or buy a house or start investing for the future? I need to know their why, right? How can I coach and develop them if I don't understand what they're trying to work for? Right. So learning about what matters to my team members, coaching and developing them to help them achieve their goals. That's what's going to take a producer from writing 30 items a month to 50, or someone that's writing 50 to 80. Y'all, I've trained producers all across the country that write over 100 items every month, right? Getting better and growing so that they can achieve their goals is crucial for their development. But guess what, y'all? For you too. We got big goals, baby. We got big goals. The company says it's going to be a great year, you guys, with what they did with our variable comp numbers, what they did with our monthly numbers and annual numbers. Holy smokes, y'all. It's going to be a good year, right?
That's right.
I know it's scary. I know it's scary.
I kept saying that same thing when those grids came out and after the grid shock wore off. It's like, man, if the company's right, holy crap, this is going to be a fun year.
Well, getting those bigger goals, man, you can't do it on your own. You got to duplicate yourself. You got to grow that way. So helping your team members achieve their goals will help you more than achieve yours.
I love it. And I want to go back to like right off the bat, talking about how it's an investment, right? You're investing in your team, into their success and into their future. But as a business owner and as an agent, when I think of an investment, I naturally think, well, what's the return, right? Like if I'm going to invest, whether it's in buying an agency, whether it's in buying the building that your agency is in, whether it's marketing, in this case, it's your team. How do you look at the return, and like what do you see as the difference in an agent that is willing to invest and what that long-term outcome looks like versus one that's not?
Hmm. Well, you can either buy the golden egg or you can develop a goose that lays lots of golden eggs. Investing your time, not just money, into like a consulting or training program. I mean, that's easy. You'd have to write like one more car a month to pay for my program. Like that's nothing. Investing your time in developing your team, that's to develop the geese that continue to lay the golden eggs over and over and over and over again. And I always look at the ROI, like for leads and marketing. For leads and marketing, depending on your compensation structure, most agencies that I work with are all state, but I, of course, will help farmers, state farm, independents, whatever. But most are all state. If they have the opportunity to earn a variable compensation bonus each month, getting to that level of production necessary to basically triple the level of commissions you could earn, y'all, if you could just get your team members closing one or two more households a week each, that's it, one or two more bundled households. They can't just be writing monoline renters or monoline auto or something like that, especially single car auto. No, monoline renters, ban that crap. Like that's not something you should ever write. But one or two more bundled households a week per team member. Do that math. Even if you have three team members and they're each writing five more households a month, that's 15 more households. That's another 40 items, if 2.5 items per household. What would another 40 items a month, which is 500 items a year, which would be hundreds of thousands more premium per year? What would that do to your monthly commissions, to your annual bonus, to your future renewals for the next 4 to 6 years, based on the average tenure of current customers now? It used to be 7 or 8, but damn, it's getting shorter and shorter, y'all. So we got to focus more and more on new business. It's easy to do the return on investment for leads and marketing. If you have the chance to make, say, 20% commission on something, as long as you can write 5 times the premium amount. So like if you spend 10,000, or let's say small numbers, if you spend $5,000 on leads and marketing, if you can write 5 times that, so it'd be 25,000 in premium, which is what, 20 items in most states. Hell, in Texas, that might be 7, right? Because Texas got big, beautiful premiums, baby. We love our premiums in Texas. But if you spend 5 and you can write around 20, 25,000, it's basically paying for itself. Now you make 6 times, 7 times, 8 times, not make, but if you write 6, 7, 8 times premium versus what you spent, you're more than breaking even. And dude, you're making money from day one. Dude, remember back in the day of 10 and 10, when it was 10% new business, 10% renewal? We used to say when we were coaching, if you can make your money back within 12 to 18 months, that's a good investment. Now, with potential bonuses, people can get their money back the next month. The
Right.
next month, y'all. So you cannot be afraid to invest in leads and marketing. You cannot be afraid to invest in development of your staff. But here's the thing. Please don't just write a check and expect it to solve your problems. Don't just go spend that $10,000 with a direct mail company and expect that to solve all your problems. If your people are not developed on how to sell those leads, you're
Mm-hmm.
wasting your money. So like
Mm-hmm.
be careful. They got to go hand in hand. Which one's first, the cart or the horse or the chicken or the egg, whatever. You can't just spend a bunch of money on leads and marketing without having your team ready to work them. You got to do both.
Yep, that's so true. And that's being a direct mail guy. Like that's, I couldn't agree more. And I love mail. I'll fight on that hill till I die. Like it's the best, marketing tactic in my mind for so many reasons, but it is not cheap. And you have to
Mm.
convert. It's their quality prospects that will stick around with you a long time, and they'll help your loss ratio, they'll help your bundling. But you're right. If you don't have the team in place, you may as well just light it on fire.
100%. And I know
Yep.
budget's limited and I know renewals are being cut. There's uncertainty around that. We have bigger annual goals for annual bonus, much higher monthly production goals. I know the cheese keeps moving, y'all. I know that. They're going to keep moving that cheese. They're going to keep pushing you to invest more and to do more and to hire more and to quote more and to write more. Good. It's forcing you to grow. It's forcing you to grow. I promise you'll be better off 5 years from now than you are today if you go for that cheese. If you just kind of shrink and say, shit, the goals are not reasonable, they're not realistic, I'm not going to hit it, I'm going to trim back and be lean and mean, that's fine, I guess. All that matters is net income, man. Dude, never go for a number that your company wants. Never, never go for a number that your company wants. If it doesn't make sense financially, don't. I'm just telling you, most of the times it is. A lot of agents will just give up though when they get much bigger goals, like for monthly production goals or annual growth goals, stuff like that. If it makes sense to go for it, go for it. And guess what? Because they moved that cheese, you went for it and you got it. You'll be so much bigger in 5 years, man. So many people hit a plateau. So many agents hit a plateau, and I'm not judging them. It just is what it is. They'll get to that like 5 million mark, 7 million mark, whatever. They never break through it because each year they say, well, our goals are tough. Maybe next year. I'm not going to hire. Maybe next year. I'm not going to invest in leads and marketing. Maybe next year. And they wake up 10 years later and they've grown 10%. But then you got other agencies who go for that cheese and they're doubling every 4 years, right?
It's possible.
Grow. It
Yep.
is 100%,
Yep.
man. 100%.
Yep.
If it makes sense, though, please don't just go for a number to win a trip or to like be high on the spreadsheet. Who cares, man? Don't spend 100 grand to make 50, right? Like you have to do the math. It has to make mathematical sense. But I just want to encourage people, especially since we all just got much bigger goals, to not give up. It's March. It's March, y'all. Don't be giving up on this year. Go for that cheese.
Yep.
That's all
Heck
I'm
yeah.
saying.
Heck yeah. And then from the opposite side of that investment for the team and how that commitment to them impacts their opportunity. Like what would you say an agent that is willing to commit to that investment, what does that look like from like in employee engagement, employee retention, employee growth?
Man, I think it's amazing. I remember my team member Josephine, single mom, right? 3 kids, and was struggling. She was struggling to make ends meet. She came to us and she said, I just need a job, right? What can I do here? And my manager at the time was Stephanie, and she was interviewing her. And we were going to bring her on as an unlicensed support staff, to help us with billing, to help us with inspections, to help us with back end stuff that would help the sales team members have more time, like inspections, stuff like that you don't necessarily have to have a license, like to help kind of manage. Well, I met her and I said, no. I said, no, you deserve way more than $14 an hour or whatever we're going to pay you for that. You have great potential, great ability. I know you've never sold before, but just meeting you, knowing your personality, knowing your goals and your financial needs of taking care of yourself and your kids. No, you're going to be a sales producer. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you instructions on how to get your license. It'll take you 1 to 2 weeks. I will pay you for it. I will pay you back for your license. You got to invest in it yourself, but I'm going to pay you a sign-on bonus of $500. That'll help cover your test fees and all that stuff to go get your license. I think you can do great here. I want you to come on as a licensed service agent first. She then quickly moved to sales, by the way, but you got this. And she's like, okay, I got it. What she told me months later was she went out into her car, broke down in tears. Broke down in tears. Y'all, she needed that job. I didn't know. But she needed that job. Y'all, she came back less than 2 weeks later with her license, had 50 prospects already filled out, quote sheets of names, addresses, dates of birth, year, make, and model cars. We always required that was at least 25, but typically 50. And y'all, she killed it. She killed it. And about a year and a half later, as she was writing $80, $100 a month, making really good money, it was life changing for her family. When she was able to move out of her piece of shit apartment, buy a house, and put her kids in their own rooms, and she took a selfie outside of that house and sent it to me, the pride that I felt for helping her hit that. But I didn't do the work. I didn't do it. She did it, man. I just gave her the opportunity. I gave her the opportunity. I gave her the tools. But like seeing team members achieve their goals is amazing. That's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about to me, is watching people win. And guess what? I win too, because when they win, I win. Right? It all adds up. You think she's loyal? Yep. You think she's going anywhere? Nope. Right? People will stay where they're fed, right? When you not just feed them high quality leads like direct mail, which are the best leads, or life transfers or other things that you're investing in. Hopefully invest in some training and development outside. But when you pour into your team and you help them achieve their goals, they're not going anywhere. They will stay with you for years.
And it fits like perfectly hand in hand with culture, right? Like it's like what Tim was saying 2 months ago of like, you can't have a winning culture without a caring culture. It really goes back to starting with your team in mind first. Like, what do they need? What's going to set them up to win and to thrive and to achieve everything that they want in life, right? I think that coaching and development is really kind of the same thing. Like if you're not willing to invest that time into coaching and developing them because you care, because you want them to win, like it's going to be tough to get that team, producing the way you want to produce, to let have the opportunity to win yourself. So it's awesome, man. It's not rocket science. It's pretty darn consistent. I love it. Kind of shifting into like the mindset of a coach, and like I know you do this so well, and I think so many people that might be the first hurdle that stops them from investing that time, is like they don't believe that they can be an effective leader or coach themselves. So like starting there, if an agent is going to start committing that investment into their team, help walk us through like some traits that we as leaders need to be developing ourselves to help us be better coaches for our team.
Absolutely. So, biggest thing is you never want your team to dread having a coaching session or something. You never want them to think, oh my God, now I got to go talk to him and I'm going to hear how shitty I am, how terrible I am. You need to have the sandwich. You know what I'm talking about? The good news, bad news sandwich. You know what I'm talking about? Focus
Yeah.
on something good. What do we need to work on? End with something good. Man, I used to do coaching sessions. They'd last an hour, hour and a half. We'd listen to every minute of the call. I'd nitpick it to death. Of course, I'd pick out the 15 things that I love, but I'd talk about the 16 things that I didn't love. And we wrote coach on it. We role play it, whatever. I had a girl one time, Taylor, one of my best producers, man, 80 to 100 album a month producers. He hadn't had a slow start to the month, but was always consistent. And I coached her one morning, hour and a half session, baby. I nitpicked the death, that call to death. I thought I was doing a good job, right? I was giving her all the pointers in one session. Later that day at 3 or 4 o'clock, she comes into my office crying. And I was like, what's wrong? Are you not feeling good? She was pregnant at the time. I was like, are you not feeling good? You need to go home. And said, JP, I need to talk to you. I'm just so sorry. I'm always failing you. I'm so sorry I'm letting you down. I just don't think I can do this. I said, girl, what you talking about with us? I was like, what you talking about? She was on track to write like 70 something items that month, which was a bad month for her. All right. We were
Yeah.
halfway through the month. That was a bad month. Y'all, many agencies would kill for that. And I'm
And that's
talking,
a
this was
great
like
month
10
the
years ago.
most, right?
Yeah.
Right.
This was a long time ago. 70 items a month was a lot last in 10 years. Now it's not, right? Compared to what we can all accomplish now. She said, I just can't do anything right. And I was like, Taylor, yes, you can. You're amazing. I'm just trying to give you feedback. And that's when I realized I was trying to do too much at once and they were dreading wanting to come talk to me. So, y'all, 15, 20 minutes is all you need. Skim through a call, maybe use Harker Road's call scoring standard.com thingy or standardcallscoring.com, whatever it is. Just Google Justin Harker Road. Um, use it to kind of get some notes and stuff. Find one or two things to praise, one, maybe two at most things to work on, and then get them back on the phone. Rome was not built in a day. Rome was not built in a day. So that's the biggest thing, is to not want to fix everything all at once. It'll be overwhelming to the team. And y'all, you need to have some patience. You need to have some patience. I know a lot of us want it yesterday. This got to be fixed yesterday. We got so many things to hit. You got to have some patience. You got to have some empathy. Put yourself in the shoes of your producers. Dude, I'm not doing that job. I'm not making 100 calls a day, getting hung up on, telling, getting way more no's than yeses, thinking I'm going to write a deal, thinking, hell yeah, baby, I'm going to write this deal. And then I run the MVR and I'm thinking, crap, I can't write this deal. That's tough, man. It's a tough job. So understand, put yourselves in their shoes. Now, that's if they're doing work. If they're just sitting around being lazy all day, then that's different. But if they're working hard and they're getting more no's than yeses, it's a tough job. Having some empathy, some sympathy, kind of putting yourselves in their shoes, I think is important. I think it's really, really important. So some patience, some empathy, not trying to fix everything at once. I think that's really, really important. Having fun. I think it's important to have fun. Here's what I always tell my team members, and I'll tell you all now, agency owners and managers watching here the recording and stuff. Role play and practice is weird. It's weird. I know it's awkward. Isn't it awkward? It's
For
it's
sure.
it's uncomfortable. Yeah, it's uncomfortable. And you think, gosh, I might not be good at it, y'all. I promise you'll be better than not doing it. And you can use like the Joseph Puckett consulting scripts and Top Pass to like help you, or you can use others. There's other great coaching programs out there, scripts online. Hell, you can use Chat GPT. How can I sell more auto insurance? What Top Pass to use? Okay, cool, whatever. You can use all kinds of resources to help you with your coaching and development. You don't have to be perfect, but I'm just telling y'all, the more you spend time with your team, the better they will be, and they will appreciate that. But y'all, you got to have fun because it's weird. I know it's weird. I know it's awkward. I know it's uncomfortable. And here's what I always tell team members when I start to role play with them. I say, this is going to be weird. You know what? It's going to be awkward. It's going to be uncomfortable. I say, dude, let's get weird. Let's get weird, y'all. See, I want it to get weird right here, so it's not weird when you're talking to somebody. It's not uncomfortable when you're talking to somebody because you were prepared. So I like to
Mhm.
have fun. I like to make jokes like that. Let's get weird. When role playing, I'll be like silly. I'll be silly about it. Like I'll be different people or different things, or I'll say silly things like that way. It kind of keeps the mood light. It kind of
Right.
keeps them. I want them to have fun. I want them to have fun practicing. Just like when you played sports, didn't you have fun practicing with your baseball friends or your softball friends or basketball friends, whatever? It was fun, right? To do the work. That way, when you played the game, you won as a team. I like to have fun. I like to keep it light, but sometimes you also have to be serious. Here's another thing. You can coach and role play somebody and they can do well, role play with somebody and they can do well in the role play. But if as you're listening to their calls, or you're seeing their work, they're not actually implementing it, you have to address that. You have to address that. Like, hey, listen, we worked on this, right? And we're not doing it. So what's wrong? What's holding you back? Why aren't you following what we've been working on? You role play amazingly. Why aren't you doing it? So y'all, I want to have fun, great energy, make them laugh, all that stuff. But sometimes you also have to say, hang on a second, we're not doing it, right? I need to hold you accountable. Why? Because you love them, right? Think about, for those of you that have kids, I have kids. I got 11-year-old boy, girl twins. They're going to middle school, y'all. I can't believe it. I got a 13-year-old boy. He's about to be 14 in 3 weeks. He's going to high school. It's crazy. Time flies. Imagine your child brings home a C or a D on a report card, and they could have an A or at least a B. What do? They bring you a D or an F, right? Do you address it? Or do you like, you know what? They'll be all right. I'll give them a little bit of time. They're going through a lot right now. You can make all the excuses in the world. Or do you say, honey, come here. Let me sit. What's going on? What's wrong?
Mhm.
Why do you have a D? Right? What can I do to help you get that A? You're an A student, son. You're an A student, daughter. What can I do to help you? You hold them accountable. Why? Because you love them. You care about them. You want them to succeed. We have to do the same thing with our staff, y'all. So if they're doing great in role play, but not doing great when they're talking to somebody, you got to hold them accountable. Why? Because you want the best for them. You want them to grow. You want them to develop. So, man, sometimes our conversations are not all, yay, this is fun. Sometimes it's serious.
Right.
Why? Because we want to see them win.
Yep. That's awesome. Do you mind just like talking about the role play and I think that we all look at it as like, man, this is weird and I'm just too uncomfortable to get into that. Can you just break down like what does a role play session, like how would you structure that for someone that's never done it before to like
Mhm.
almost build out a quick like, hey, here's a 3-minute template where you can take it back to your team and start doing this tomorrow.
Absolutely. So, utilizing some sort of written script or sales process, I think, is important so you can kind of guide through it. We want to work at one thing at a time. So, I might figure out that they need more help getting the call started. They're making the calls, they're leaving the voicemails, they're sending the texts, they're getting people to call back or they're answering, but they're not converting enough of those to quotes. That's what we'll work on. That's it. So just getting the call started. So whatever leads we're working, whether it's internet leads or requotes or win backs or cross sales or direct mail calls, whatever, if I've identified they need to get better at starting the call, that's all we're going to work on. So I'll have my script of Top Path. Maybe check out JPC, y'all. But I've got the script in Top Path. We'll listen to that part of the call. Y'all, you have to listen to the call with them. You have to have your calls recorded. You have to listen to that. Let them hear what they actually say because they'll say, well, typically I say this or I would normally say that, but you didn't. You didn't. Like, here it is on 3 recordings. You didn't assume the quote or whatever. So if I
Mhm.
identify what we need to work on, let's say it's how to start the call, we'll listen to that 40 seconds. How did they start it? Were they not as assumptive and assertive as they should have been? Did they not go into straight the assumptive quote, or were they too permissive, saying, "Hey, did I catch you at a good time?" Or would you still be interested in quotes? No, y'all. That's not how you start a call. That's not how you start quotes. So I want to hear it, and then I'll say, "All right, you tell me what you think you could have done better because I want to help you. I want to help you. But what do you think? What do you think you could have done a bit better?" Oh, yeah, I agree. You could have been more assumptive and assertive. All right, let's role play that real quick. So here's Joseph Puckett consulting scripts or whatever scripts you're using. Let's role play it real quick. Do it a couple times. All right, you ready? You ready to do it next one? All right, get back to work. Dude, that's 10 minutes, 15 minutes. You don't have to have an hour and a half long coaching session.
Right.
So that's it. That's like an example. So I like to ask them what they think they could do better at. Because man, sometimes they'll beat themselves up more than I will. And if they are, I'll be like, no, 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 hold on a second. I almost knocked over my microphone. Hold on a second. No, no, no. I wouldn't rate you a 2 out of 10. I'd rate you maybe a 6. Like I don't want them to beat themselves up so much. Like, man, I suck at life. I'm never going to do this job. I want to keep them kind of positive. But that's it, man. Whatever they need to work on, whether it's how to start the call to generate more quotes, whether it's building rapport while gathering information to get to know the customer, is it uncovering additional lines? Are they not even asking? Do you have any other policies? Do you have any toys like motorcycles, boats, ATVs, rental properties, secondary residences, life insurance, etc.? If they're not even asking, we can listen to rapport building and see where they never asked that. Boom. What do you think you could do better? Yeah, you should have asked for other lines. That's right. I agree. Let's do it. Role play it. All right. Go do it now. Go do it for somebody. So building rapport, uncovering lines, selling coverage, right? How to sell higher limits, which is what I teach really, really well. How to assume the close, right? How to overcome a certain objection. I need to talk with my spouse. The rate's too high. I want to think about it. Or in the South, I want to pray to the Lord. And what I say is, listen, the Lord sent me today. The Lord sent me today. I'm just kidding, y'all. But what one thing do they need to get better at? Let's listen, ask for their feedback. Hopefully you kind of agree. Role play it real quick. Put them back to work. 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there. Done. You can
Mhm.
accomplish so much with that format over
Is that
time. Those
something that you
mini
feel?
sessions.
Do you feel like it's better and more effective one-on-one, or do you
Oh
do
yeah.
that in a team format?
Well, no, you can totally do it in a team format, but I would never listen to a bad call or something in front of a team. See,
Yep.
I want to publicly praise, privately coach, or privately criticize, I guess you'd say. So yeah, in a team setting, I love rapid role play. We call it rapid role play. So we'll kind of go around the room, whatever objection. You can even take a ball and pass it around like, hey, boom, I need to talk to my spouse. Oh, I'm so excited you want to talk with your spouse. I can't wait for you to tell them about this new policies, blah, 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 using the JPC scripts. They pass the ball. Hey, I need to think about it. Oh, heck yeah. I'm so glad you want to think about it. So I'm going to send you your policies so you can go through all the details, blah, 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 pass the ball. So like just kind of rapid role play in a group setting,
Mhm.
having some fun with it, being a little silly. Dude, I used to let them shoot me with Nerf guns. Like they would get the little Nerf darts, whatever. And like whenever somebody overcame an objection really well or something, everyone would vote who was the best. That person got to shoot me with Nerf guns and I would have to dodge the bullets like I was in the Matrix. I was Neo in the Matrix. That's fun. I want to do that shit in a group setting. Serious stuff or
Yeah.
negative stuff, one on one,
Yep.
one on one.
Yep. Two-part question here. Do you, I mean, there's got to be some differences when you're coaching and developing, or in this case, maybe even role playing with sales versus service.
Sure.
What are the differences in those two? And then kind of the second part to that, like, do you have like KPIs or like certain metrics that you specifically focus on? And is there a difference in that between a sales and the service team member you're coaching?
Absolutely. Starting with the KPIs, we have a funnel. It's a sales funnel, sales success funnel for the sales side. And it's basically starting with the activity. I don't know, y'all might be using a dialer or something like that. If you're buying a bunch of internet leads and you put them in a dialer like Ricochet or something like that, that's awesome. So maybe their calls are going to be a lot higher, $300 a day, but I'm looking for $80 a day. It's 10 an hour or 3 hours of talk time minimum. These are minimum expectations, by the way, y'all. These aren't goals. These are minimums. So 3 hours of talk time / 80 calls or 5 bundled households quoted. Bundled. We ain't just going to count a monoline auto or monoline renters. Well, shoot, they ain't going to do that anyways. But 5 bundled households or 2 written items a day. If someone can write 40 plus items a month and quote around 5, 6 households a day and average around 3 hours or so of talk time, that's pretty good. Those are our minimum expectations. My goal for them is 3 to 5 items a day. So 60, 80, 100 items a month, 6 to 8 households quoted a day. I really don't care about the talk time. shit, if they're sorry, man, but darn it, if they're doing that, you think I care? You think I
Right.
care how many calls they have? If they're writing 80 items a month? No. So we focus on the activity first, then the quotes, then the sales, but most importantly, being consistent with it. For the service team, I'm looking for 3 to 4 hours of talk time, 5 or more mini reviews at a minimum with customers that they're servicing, 20 or more outbound calls to offer policy reviews and stuff like that, 2 leads a day. So a sales producer, I'm looking for 2 sold items a day. For a service team member, I'm asking for 2 cross-sell leads a day or referrals. They can ask for referrals. They might say, JP, all the customers I talk to, they got auto, they got home, they got umbrella, they got the motor club, they got everything. I can't get nothing from them. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Referrals. So for the service team, 2 generated leads a day. That's 40 a month. We'll write 40, 50% of those. They'll generate around 30 or so items a month from that the sales team members are closing. I'm not a huge fan of service people selling. I'd rather them sell the conversation. I'd rather them sell the referral to a team member that can actually close them at a better rate, or if they can't
Mhm.
close them, have more time to follow up and nurture them using the lead management system. Man, service team, they have the most thankless job, dude. I would not do that job. I wouldn't be a LSP anymore. Been there, done that. Like I'm way above that. Like I'll work with 10 team members to get them writing 700 items a month before I'll go and write 70 items myself. But service team, whew, they got it tough, man. They got
Yep.
people calling and complaining about rate increases or claims. They're dealing with customer saves. They're handling claims that go south and trying to get involved in all that. And I'm saying, just give me 2 leads a day, 2 leads a day. I need to be empathetic and sympathetic and know sometimes that won't happen, but we must focus on driving sales. I tell every service team member, sales is your job. Your job is not just service with a smile. Thank you. Come again. Nope. Your job is to ask questions to get to know your customers, look at their current policy, see what we can do to make them better, ask about other lines so we can fully protect them and get all of their lines under our agency, ask for referrals, ask for life insurance and retirement conversations. Your job is sales. This is a sales organization. Yes, you do customer service, but your job is sales. However,
Right.
for me, I don't want my service people quoting and write them. I want them passing. But those are the KPIs. What are the differences with
Can
service team
can I
members? Yeah.
can I recap that real quick? Because I
Yeah.
think like to me this was gold to me. Like I love this, and I think that it's so easy for me, and I think for most of us when we're thinking about KPIs and coaching, we have a natural bent towards sales, right? Like that we are a sales organization. So I think like these are like the activity pyramids, right? And I think
Hmm.
we're all familiar to some degree of top down. What's the most important thing for our salespeople? Are they writing items, right? If there's 2 items, they're good. If they haven't closed those items, are they quoting? If they haven't done the quotes, do they have talk time? If they don't have the talk time, are they making the calls? But you just went through an activity pyramid from a service side, which is, I think, something that we don't hear about or think about nearly as much. Can you just recap the priority of those orders between, like you mentioned, talk time, mini reviews, the referrals generated? Can you recap that real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. If they're generating at least 2 referrals a day to the sales team, I really don't care how many reviews they did. Talk time is a pretty constant baseline. We need at least 3 or 4 hours, right? 3 or 4 hours of
Yep.
talk time. That shows that they're taking inbound calls. I hate voicemails. I don't want any voicemails, but man, sometimes it happens. Sometimes calls come in waves. So 3 or 4 hours of talk time, that's kind of like an everyday thing. But as long as they have 2 generated leads a day, one before lunch, one after lunch, right? That's it. Something simple, easy to track. Yeah, my team member Susan has been one of my best over the years. She's been with me now since 2017. I love Susan. She's amazing. She keeps one of those big ass calendars on her desk. Like those glass companies that come in or the restoration companies. They say, "Hey,
Yeah.
you want our pins and our crap? You want all of our crap?" I throw it all away. She would keep
Uh,
it. She had a Glass America calendar on her desk, and every day she would have 5 lines on every day. Her goal was to write 5 names of people she referred that day to the sales team. And when she didn't have a 5 referral day, she would kind of beat herself up on it. And she'd say, I'm going to fill it up tomorrow. So then she'd add a 6th line to the next little square in her calendar. But man, Referrals to the sales team is most important. 5 or more mini reviews throughout the day. That's not even one an hour, right? If they're
Right.
talking to 15, 20 customers a day, sometimes 30, especially if it's a Monday after a holiday or if it's a Friday payday, if they're talking to 15, 20, 30 customers, can they give me 5 mini reviews and
Mm-hmm.
just do a quick mini review, reviewing most important coverages, deductibles, discounts, asking for other lines? That's it. I don't need a 2 hour review for every customer, but 5 mini reviews. And then, of course, the talk time, 3 to 4 hours of talk time. Man, if they're not doing that, I don't need them. Man, and here's another thing. I'm telling this to service team members not to scare them. I'm not trying to scare them about their job, but AI is coming.
Hmm.
There will be a time where our customers will be able to call our agency or 1-800 whatever and have a conversation with a machine. Hey, I just bought a new car. Oh, you did? Oh, that's awesome. What'd you get? Ooh, that's a nice car. What's the VIN number? Like, seriously, that's coming.
Mm-hmm.
That's coming. Can a robot, can a machine, can an AI replace you and your advice? No. I welcome AI to come and do a lot of the transactional crap that we don't need to be doing. Hey, I
Right.
need my ID card. I want a robot to send that or take a payment or whatever. So 3 or 4 hours of talk time, if they're not even doing that, a lot of our customers are getting more and more and more self-serviced. Like, they need to justify their job. Now that does sound kind of scary, but I'm telling service team members not to be scared about AI or whatever, but less and less of our customers are calling in and needing help because they're just getting on auto payment. They're handling their
Right.
stuff on the app, all that kind of stuff. What can we do outbound? That's why I want at least 20 dials. 20
Mm.
dials was an important thing that I forgot to mention a second ago. So, are we reaching out to customers to have deeper conversations with them and uncover lines, not just to do a review and say bye, but to see what else we can help them with? Because again, this is a sales organization. Every call, every conversation needs to be thinking, what am I going to do to generate a referral to my sales team member?
Mm-hmm. I love it. Cool. And then let's shift back. I know you were heading there anyway, but the differences in how you coach the sales side versus the service side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, service side, I'm very empathetic with all of their challenges. We definitely coach on how to handle difficult conversations. On the sales side, we kind of laugh about difficult conversations. I used to have worst call of the week club. I give them $100, not for if they did a shitty job or a bad job, but like someone who was like very colorful in their language on never calling this back or never calling them back, whatever. And one time, this guy, he said words I never even knew existed. I was like, Nicole, you're the winner, girl. Like he was just cussing her out. Like we laugh about it. We laugh about it. On the service side, it's more serious. Okay, customers call in concerned about their rate increases. All right, what can we do to get ahead of it for one? See, I want to teach my team on how to get ahead of rate increase calls. I'd rather be on offense than defense, but we role play and coach on difficult conversations just as much as we do sales, right? How to
Mm-hmm.
handle if a customer's upset about the way the claims are going or about a rate increase. So we actually role play and practice that probably more than like, hey, generate sales or referrals. But that's probably the only difference for sales. It's all sell, 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 close, close, close. Use the Joseph Puckett consulting scripts, whatever. Service, generating referrals, generating cross sell opportunities. But we also spend a lot of time talking about the tough conversations they deal with. And I always tell them, or I try, man, I try. I hate when I forget to tell them just how important they are. They are the foundation of the agency. We cannot grow if we don't have a strong service foundation. So I always try to make them feel so important. They are so thanked. It's a thankless job, man. They don't get all the rewards and trophies and all that stuff because they didn't write 80 items last month. But if they saved 20 and if they did a great job doing service, if they generated 17 closed items or something, that's huge. That's huge. So I always want to try to praise them and thank them because, man, it can be a very thankless job. But we do role play and practice those kind of difficult conversations more so than like the sales, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Um, Shifting into like just again like implementation. Like if what would you say like for an agency or for myself if I'm trying to adopt and implement something next week? How do you go into like inserting these tactics into your daily operations? Do you start with a team huddle? Do you start with one-on-ones? Like what's the functional implementations of these things for an agent?
Absolutely. If your team are remote, which a lot of agencies have a bunch of remote team members now, I'm thankful. I'm thankful that most of my team members don't even live in Texas. I got people in 5 different states, right? And in 3 different time zones. It's actually kind of cool how we can stagger some stuff. I think a quick 15, 20-minute daily huddle with everybody is good at a minimum every other day, especially if you have a bunch of remote people. So a quick 15 to 20-minute huddle. We used to call it lobby magic, right? We would meet in the lobby when I worked at Regions Bank. We would meet in the lobby and we'd role play and we'd practice. We'd talk about our goals for the day for the first 15 minutes. Then we'd all break off and do work. I like that. Quick 15-minute huddles. Y'all just work on something. Just work on something, overcoming an objection, asking for referrals, talking about a new feature that you have, new car expanded protection or auto replacement coverage or accident forgiveness. Like just kind of role playing for 15 minutes on one little thing. One little thing. Pick 2 or 3 people. Let's role play. 15-minute huddles, I think, are awesome. 30-minute individual sessions, 20 to 30-minute individual sessions. What I do, I put them on my calendar. So, like, I take a blank week. I got Monday through Friday. I'll look at my calendar. I got the 15-minute huddles every morning. Sometimes it's just with sales team or service team or both. Like you can kind of rotate that. But I got my 15-minute huddles. I'll then leave an hour to get caught up on stuff, getting through all my emails, going through all the crap I need to delegate and all that stuff. But then at like 10 o'clock, I want a 20 to 30-minute meeting. And then maybe at 11 o'clock, another 20, 30-minute meeting. During lunchtime, I'm not meeting with people because people are out on lunches and stuff like that. We might be a little short, might get calls. So I'm probably not going to have another coaching session until at least 2-ish, 2 or 3-ish, another 20-minute meeting. So I would try to schedule, since I have, about 10 team members, I want to hit them at least once a week, sometimes twice, especially if they're newer. If they're brand new, shoot, I'm with them for all day for the first several days. But I found when I took a blank week and mapped out huddles, 2 to 3 coaching sessions each day, map that out over the course of a week, recur all of those events so it hits every single week for months to come. Now, of course, I got to move it around if there's a trip or something comes up or whatever, but I would do that. When I have my team members, Beth met with me at 9 a.m. every Monday. She was the easiest because she was 130 out of a month producer, but sometimes she really wanted to work on stuff. But Beth was at 9, Josephine was at 10, Michelle was at 2, Taylor was at 3. Tyler was the next afternoon. I'd have my manager meetings on Tuesday afternoons. Now that was more than 30 minutes, 20, 30 minutes. Sometimes that was an hour, hour and a half. So like I just mapped out a whole week, man. And I know you feel like you don't have a lot of time, but I promise y'all, the more you start to map out your time and do time blocks for important stuff, the more you realize you got plenty of time. So I would just get started with morning huddles, then get started with 15, 20-minute little mini coaching sessions with each team member just once a week. Just once a week, you'll see some progress. You'll see some improvement. Hopefully you'll see that they appreciate you investing their time, right, and helping them get better and all that stuff. That's at a minimum. And then as you grow, doing it more consistently, putting on your calendar, recurring those appointments, I would probably spend 30 to 40% of my time on team development. 20 to 30% of my time on developing centers of influence, mortgage lenders, realtors, apartment complex managers. I did a lot of networking to develop leads. And then 20% doing admin junk, delegating emails, following up on stuff, all that kind of stuff. That's how I did it when I was an agency manager, how I will do it as an owner. 20% admin, 30% developing COIs, at least 50% of my time needs to be developing my people. If I can make all my people just a little bit better every day, just a little bit better every week, when you run that out, shoot, they'll be unrecognizable in 6 months, but just start small. But most important, be consistent. That's why I keep saying recur it on your calendar. Do it every single week. Just go into that appointment, whatever you blocked out, and say recur every week. Every week. Take control of your time and be consistent. Y'all ever go to an event and you think, oh my God, I'm going to change everything. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. And you do nothing, right? Because you forget about it because all the other stuff comes up, whatever. Y'all, please be consistent. Don't just try it for a day or two or for a week or two and then stop. Be consistent. Watch, the results will come. And of course, I'd be happy to help. If you wanted to have some live training and stuff like that for your team, I'd be happy to help. If you wanted some individual help, I'd be happy to help. But y'all, you can do it too. You can make a lot of progress yourself. Remember, you don't got to be perfect to help your team.
It's true. 2 quick things, and then we'll kind of wind this thing down. As we implement, like, I think our team, or like I would imagine, like you're going to have some team members that are like, yeah, this is too weird for me, right? Like they don't buy into it. And I know you started off at the very beginning of like talking about how our people, they need to want to get better, right? If you don't have people that want to get better, like they shouldn't be on your team. So what are things that you look for, or how do you encourage a team member to have that mindset as we implement some of these getting weird moments? And how do you recognize they're bought in or they're not?
Yes. Biggest way to see if they're bought in and also to make it less weird is what I learned when I stopped going to them and saying, "Hey, this is what I caught you doing. You did it wrong." But also, I try to do good, bad sandwich, right? Good,
Mm-hmm.
bad, good sandwich. When they started to come to me and say, "Hey, JP, I just got off a call. Can you listen to it? I thought I was going to get him, but I didn't get him. Can you listen the last 10 minutes? Maybe my close was weak." When they started coming to me and saying, "Hey, will you listen to this? Will you help me? Can you help me figure out what I did wrong?" That's when I knew I had arrived. That's when I know they had arrived.
Right.
When they sought help, instead of just hoping I would never catch their mistakes, they bring me their mistakes. That's when I knew they really wanted to get better, and it saved me a ton of freaking time. I was having to dig through crap trying to figure out what can I coach them on. So that's what I started to do. I'm glad you mentioned that. Once I felt comfortable about me uncovering things that I wanted to work on with them, I wanted them to come with me. So for my weekly meetings, I'm so glad you mentioned that. If I had a meeting on the next day with them, they had to send me 2 or 3 quotes to review or calls to review and tell me why they wanted me to look at those. I'd pick one.
Hmm.
So like they would tell me what they knew they needed help with. That's when I knew they wanted to get better and they wanted to grow. And it saved me a ton
I
of
love
time
it.
because I wasn't
I
having just
love
to
it.
listen to a ton of calls. Shit, that was before transcriptions. Now the calls are transcribed and you can go through them quick. Back in
Right.
the olden times, I had to listen to the whole call to try to find something. Now I can just search for keywords in the transcript and find something. But that was a huge sign when they started to ask for help immediately. They wouldn't wait and hope that I didn't hear it. They'd say, "JP, I need help with this." Boom. That's when I knew they wanted to grow.
That's awesome. And then lastly, on the flip side of that, for us as the leaders or the agency owners that are really trying to invest in this, I think there's two avenues that we can go down, right? We either commit to doing it and we really focus on how do I get better and more effective as a leader, or I get in touch with someone else that can help develop my team for me, right? First part of that, how to like what should we be looking for? How do we invest in ourselves to become a better leader? And then secondly, like how would if someone said, you know what, I've got other things I want to focus my time on, how do we find you or get in touch with you and what does that look like?
Yeah. Well, check out josephpuckett.com, josephpuckett.com. Connect with me on Facebook, y'all. Facebook, Instagram. If you have questions, reach out to me. It's email at josephdpuckett.com or just connect with me on Facebook or Instagram. I know a lot of agents are busy. Some invest in other businesses. Okay. Some just want to travel and do other things. They're like, "JP, I've paid my dues, man. I've been around for a minute. I want to just outsource training and development." I can help. I can absolutely help with my live training every week. People write more and more business. I'm talking about the group training. It's $100 a month for the whole office. Like, come on. But also offer individual coaching if you want me to work directly with your individual team members or team as a whole for hour-long sessions. I do that as well. So outsourcing it, shoot, I'd love to help. I've been doing this for 10 years. And I think I got a pretty good track record. But I would encourage you to not just outsource it all. Try to be somewhat involved, even for just an hour or two a week, even for just an hour or two a week. If you're having some individual sessions with your team, as you're having team meetings or huddles, just a couple hours a week can go a long way. It shows your team you care. It shows your team that you want to invest your time in them and stuff. But if you wanted to outsource it, that's fine. But even then, what I tell the owners that bring me on to work with their team, I say, "Listen, I want you at a minimum to watch the recording." See, I record everything. I record every coaching session I do. I send the transcription. I send the AI generated summary notes from Zoom and from Fathom. So every session that I do, they get the recording, transcript, and AI summaries of it so they can see what we worked on. But also tell them, be on it if you can. Be on it. Now, if you're busy, you're out of town, or you're in a meeting or something like that, or you just want your team to be on with just me so they feel safe and like maybe they bitch and moan about stuff that they wouldn't in front of you, and I can like help them overcome that. Okay, fine. But I tell the owners to be involved, show them that you're taking it seriously. They'll take it more seriously. But I'd love to help. If you guys wanted help, this isn't a pitch or anything. Just check me out if you think I can help. But I know you can help your team, even just a few minutes at a time. You'd be surprised. And maybe you leverage another outside resource. You could say something, Ben, over and over and over to your team till you're blue in the face. Like, yeah, yeah. I say it. They're like, damn, that's good.
And one
Right?
time, I could say it over and over and over. You say it one time.
Correct. Sometimes you need that third party to kind of come in. Y'all, if you're looking for that, I'd love to help for sure.
I love it. That's awesome, man. Yeah. So I guess just kind of like recapping, I think that really it boils down to, are we willing to invest time into our team, right? Like we've got to have team needs first. Treat our team like our kids. We want what's best for them. Yeah, spend time and commit to it. And if you don't, you're not giving them a fair shot to be successful and win in this game. So invest the time, get a little weird, have fun with it, and stay consistent, right? You can't dip your toe in or take one step forward and then not move, continue and be consistent with your team. And if you're not willing to do those things, go find a coach, right? There's resources out there like Joseph that can help us grow. So that's awesome, man. I appreciate you. I really want to just say thanks for taking the time and sharing with me and with all the people that will listen to this. I know it's going to be helpful. And I know your time's valuable. So seriously, thank you.
Oh man, I appreciate it very much. I know we've been a little long, y'all. I'm a long-winded guy. I love to talk. I just love to help people, man. I love
Yep.
to help agents win. I know, man, I've taken calls from agents who wanted to give up. I've taken calls from agents who are frustrated. I've talked with team members who are frustrated. To be able to help them see the bright side, see the opportunity, take advantage and grow and develop is so rewarding to me. So if I can help anybody out there, heck, you might even be already in good shape. Or you say, JP, I'm hitting my monthly goals. I'm hitting my annual goals. But you think, you could get a little bit better, or your team get a little bit better. I'd love the chance to help, but that's why I do all this, man. I do it just because I love seeing the end result. When I see people win, it's worth every minute.
Love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking the time. Thanks for everyone that jumped on the call and listened. I hope you got value out of it like I did. I'm sure you did. And yeah, keep your eyes out. We'll be back next month and we'll keep talking through topics that we think are going to help accelerate, agencies' growth around the country. So to wrap this up, this is Crosshairs Marketing one more round. And these are all strategies that we can use to coach and develop our teams and help everybody win. So get back to your day, get back to coaching, and we'll see you next month.